Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the next episode of Get These Facts NYC. It's your favorite host here as always, Michael Malachi, and I'm here with the greatest, the famous,
Mick Gillard.
And we're here to talk about a lot of things today. This might be a long podcast, but we just want to cover a lot of things. I mean, we haven't been talking much. We've dropped some videos on YouTube. We just opened our account, guys. Go and look at that. It's at GTF Wrestling Podcast. That's GTF Wrestling Podcast. And we've recently been busy. I mean, we've been starting up a new trend, a new hashtag.
Best Sell Challenge. Come on, guys.
Best Sell Challenge. And we've been encouraging our audience to trend that hashtag, to share that hashtag, and to join in the challenge. So far right now, we own that hashtag. We don't see anyone with it yet.
Not yet, but
which is a good thing.
Hopefully we get to see some fans join in the fun.
We want to see you guys kind of challenge us. We want to see you guys kind of, give us something to work with too. I mean, we've been throwing out some videos out there. We got maybe three, four videos that has the hashtag. And I do encourage you guys to go check that out. That's on our Instagram at Get These Facts NYC. And you'll be able to see all those videos. And mentioning that video, I do want to say one thing that I'm actually a little bit proud of, guys. Because it gave me a big ego push, I won't lie, but it also gave me a different perspective on Coffee Kingston. And it's funny because I always talk crap about coffee. I'll admit it. I'll admit it. But karma smacked me right in the face. Coffee kind of killed me with kindness here. We commented on his video on Twitter, and it was a video from the previous SmackDown, I believe.
Yes, where he went against AJ Styles in the main event.
Right, and it was funny because he did the what's that? I always forget the move. Trouble in Paradise. Yes. He did it on AJ right while AJ was springboarding, looking like he was gonna do the phenomenal forearm, and he caught a beautiful Trouble in Paradise.
Yes.
And I commented on it and I put our video on it, and he replied to us. He may have not retweeted us or anything like that, but celebrities don't usually do that. And we appreciate you, Coffee Kingston, for
Thank you so much.
replying to us. Because it was awesome that you gave us kudos on our video as well, saying, wow, that was a sick kick and stuff like that. So I encourage you guys to go look at it too. If Coffee liked it, he is the WWE champ.
He is the champ, the main champ. Come on, guys.
And probably the best champ right now, because we are seeing Brock Lesnar with the title again, and that's usually not too entertaining. But right now,
I don't know, man. I think Illuminati would disagree with you.
He would, but he's not here right now.
Right.
So we'll talk and argue with him about that later. But yeah, so Coffee, kudos to you. Thanks for giving us kudos. We really appreciate that. And look out for more of our videos. I would have hoped that he would help us trend that hashtag. That would have been amazing.
Trust me, you should have seen my reaction when I saw the notification on my phone. I was going crazy.
It was funny. Miguel ran in. He was like, is this really
the true Kofi?
Is this
what?
a fan page? Wait, hold on.
Nah.
McGillard couldn't believe it. But going back into what we're actually recording for, our podcast, our show, we wanted to mention, of course, for the first topic, Harley Race. Harley Race just passed away. He passed away at 12:50. And I believe this was yesterday, right? Or was it 2 days ago?
It was yesterday or 2 days ago.
And basically, Harley Race is a legend. This guy has been inducted in many Hall of Fames. I'm just looking here now, and it shows about 5 different Hall of Fames that he was inducted in here. And it talks about how he was the NWA, I believe, champion in 70-something or something like that. Let me see here. It says, Race was inducted in several Hall of Fames for his achievements. The WCW Hall of Fame in 94. The Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame in 96. Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame and Museum in 2004. And as a singles wrestler in the same Hall of Fame again for a second time in 2017. And he was a tag team member with Larry Hennig. I believe he got inducted as well with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he also got inducted in WWE Hall of Fame in 2004, the NWA Hall of Fame in 2005, St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2007, and finally the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame in 2013. So this guy is a big deal.
Jesus Christ! How many Hall of Fame rings does this guy have?
Yeah, he's definitely a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
probably more Hall of Famer than many wrestlers. I mean, I just counting that out there is like maybe 5 or 6 there. And it was August 1st that we lost him. Just to clarify there. And we want to send our condolences to his family. We want to say we did love Harley Race. I mean, we're a little bit younger of fans to really know about him too much, and this is why we had to look him up a little bit. But he died at 76, and he was sharecropper parents in a small town of Quitman, North Missouri, and blah blah. But yeah, so this guy was amazing. He was very known for being one of the best professional wrestlers out there.
Yes.
And I want to say again, our condolences to his family, his friends. And rest in peace, Harley Race. You're with God now, and that's probably the best thing. We all wish we were there. So going into Raw, we want to review a little bit about Raw, a little bit about SmackDown. Wasn't the most entertaining shows
not really.
that we've seen. But I will say Raw had a lot of things that was pretty good to watch.
Good to watch, and maybe you'll get a good laugh out of it. You know, who knows?
And it's funny. Because if you look at one of our best sell challenges, you'll see Illuminati bleeding the same way Seth Rollins bled. But we'll get back to that. We want to talk about Raw and some of the matches that happened. Mainly what I want to start with is the Gauntlet that Rey Mysterio was in. It featured Cesaro, it featured Sami Zayn, Andrade, and Ricochet. And this match was actually a really good match. It was awesome to see Rey Mysterio kind of showing his athleticism and his professionalism and just his legend status and running through a lot of these guys. I mean, he beat Cesaro fair and square. And he executed a lot of moves on Cesaro. It's not like he won off of a roll-up pin. He got his splash in. He got his 619 in. He did a lot of things. So I love Cesaro, but I have to give Rey Mysterio that match. That was an amazing match. And that was a great win. And then the next competitor that came out was Sami Zayn. This was funny.
It lasted like 10 seconds.
Yeah, literally.
I
mean, and it was funny because Rey Mysterio tried to roll him up with a pin initially and botched the hell out of it.
I don't know if that was Rey Mysterio or if that was Sami Zayn. Maybe it's both of their fault.
I mean, Rey was a little bit too far for him with his short arms to even reach Sami, so I don't know if Sami was too far or Rey rolled too far back.
At this point, we're both better than you, so.
They're both Botchville right now.
Yeah.
So then Sami got eliminated by a quick roll-up. And then Andrade came out. I love Andrade, man. He's literally, like I always say, the next Eddie Guerrero. He came out, he got the 3 Amigos on Rey. He did a lot of good moves. I love that double backflip thing that he does.
Oh, yes.
That's so awesome, man. It's funny because it's always the competitor always tries to roll out the way, and he gets the second backflip on them. And to land on your feet from that high doing a backflip, I mean, the shock on your knees gotta be crazy from a move like that.
I want to see Kevin Nash do that.
Yeah, oh my God, his knees we'll probably see another Psycho Sid situation on live TV. Come on, Miguel, we don't want to see that.
Right.
But yeah, so that was awesome. And then Andrade lost. As always.
Actually, no.
I'm bugging.
Andrade
He won.
Yes,
and then not only did he win,
but he did the most
disrespectful thing to Lucha Libres. He ripped the mask off of Rey Mysterio, and some people on Twitter, I was looking on Twitter when it was happening. A lot of people on Twitter actually was saying, "Oh, this is such a repeat. This happens all the time. Wow, it's so shocking that we saw Rey Mysterio without a mask. Like if we didn't see him in WCW without the mask." And that may be true, but think about the age range of people watching back then comparatively to now. I mean, there's a lot of kids who are just getting introduced to wrestling, and they're seeing Rey Mysterio as a legend, yes, but they don't know much about his past. And I'll be honest with you, even me, I mean, because I've seen those shows maybe, but maybe Miguel and other people can attest to this. Having the WWE Network, you don't really go back to the old shows unless you're kind of searching something specific. You always just kind of keep up with the new stuff. I mean, there's almost shows every day. So you barely have the time to do stuff like that. I mean, kids nowadays, they're so on social media and doing all this other stuff that I doubt they'll be scrolling through WWE Network to see these old episodes of WCW. So it's actually a shock factor for the new fans. And some of these old guys, these baby boomers and some millennials like myself may have been complaining about it. But I think it was great for the new Gen Z and the new younger guys watching this because it's new to them. And you can't discredit them or, just kind of put them to the side as fans because they're a very big part of the WWE universe and the future of WWE as far as the fan base. So I liked it. And then Ricochet comes out. And this is funny because Ricochet and Andrade, I think they missed each other on NXT on their runs. They weren't together on NXT, were they? I think as soon as Andrade left,
I think it was yes. Andrade left, and then Ricochet just joined.
So this is potentially a match that was NXT Dream Match because we never seen it happen, and we kind of just missed it. And it could have happened if Andrade stood a little longer. So I like to see that match, and it was actually a really good match. Andrade is so good at selling. And Ricochet is so good at selling as well that it turned out as a really good showdown. But Ricochet took the win. Obviously, I mean, I wanted Andrade. I'm biased. I'll admit, I wanted Andrade to take the win.
No, I wanted Andrade to win too.
I mean, to see Andrade versus AJ Styles would have been amazing.
Amazing match, but WWE's logic, heel versus heel, is a no-no.
Yeah, and I don't get that, And as soon as I saw them showing down, I was like, oh, Ricochet's I already know what's going to happen. This is too predictable. And I think actually that might be something that Vince wants to reconsider going into directing his creative team, because maybe some people like me, myself, I would love to see some heel versus heel action, and sometimes even face versus face, but it's a little less entertaining. But heel versus heel, it's awesome to me.
I mean, some face versus face, it does happen every blue moon,
handshake or something like that, and it's not too entertaining. That's kind of why I'm more leaning towards the heel versus heel. They should focus on that a little bit more and kind of see who's the bad guy in Scott Hall's mouth, out of Scott Hall's mouth there. So I would like to see that. I would like to see some heel versus heel action. But Ricochet won. And yeah, that's cool, whatever. We knew that was happening. The little beef been stirred up with Ricochet and AJ Styles. So that was bound to happen. But it was a great match, and I really like the whole Andrade ripping the mask off of Rey.
Such a disrespect.
I want to see maybe that match again during a pay-per-view. I know we've seen it a lot. We've seen it 3 times.
About 3 times already.
But I don't get tired of it because they are really good at fighting each other. They have a lot of chemistry. And it's always a great match. I don't know if I can find here or if you guys can let me know what do you rate that match? Or all 3 of those matches. Do you rate them 4, 5 stars, 6 stars? Do you rate them 3? I think they were 5-star matches.
5-star matches. Great performance from both wrestlers. Both talented.
But I digress. I hope we see that soon. But going into the next thing that we want to talk about in Raw, we're not going to talk about everything in Raw, because it was some things that were good, some things that were bad. So there was the Miz TV thing, right? And it was Dolph Ziggler came out, or was it Dolph fighting Miz or something like that? No.
Raw?
No. It was the whole thing with him coming out as Shawn Michaels, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, no, that was for Ziggler versus Seth Rollins.
Yes. They were promoting that match, or he came out. Oh no. Yeah, you're right. Never mind, guys. I'm falling off a little bit here.
Yeah.
But
what's in that drink?
Yeah, it's supposed to be coffee. You don't want the wine over there, you wino.
Exactly. Cheers to that.
So it was Seth Rollins versus Ziggler, and what happened in that match? You want to talk about it?
Let's start from the beginning. Kudos to you, Dolph, for coming out with Shawn Michaels' theme.
I love that. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I was actually, it kind of took me off guard when I was waiting for Dolph Ziggler to come out.
And you know what's funny? I almost forgot that Shawn Michaels was bald now. Because when Ziggler came out, I almost really thought that was Shawn Michaels.
Yo.
I saw the ponytail, I saw the pants almost looked like the heart pants.
Yeah.
It had skulls, it had the Ziggler logo there, but it looked so similar, and the bright colors and things. I really thought it was Shawn Michaels.
And it's honestly making me believe, wow, Dolph Ziggler is really the next Shawn Michaels.
Really,
but that's besides the point. Then the match was all right, I guess. I wouldn't really rate it 5 stars, but this is where things get very, very interesting. And honestly, Illuminati, if you're watching this, you probably enjoy this part. The Beast, Brock Lesnar, made an appearance. I was actually shocked myself because, you know, we've seen what Lesnar is capable of with a championship.
Yeah.
Making like 2 appearances.
It's kind of the reason why I was saying what I said earlier about Coffee being the better champ. Is that every time this guy has a title, he barely shows up. And this is the thing that everyone is complaining about. This is the thing that is making WWE dry and things like that. And this is why some people weren't too hyped for Brock Lesnar to come back. But I think Illuminati touched on a good point here. Is that people say that, but every time Brock is on, I mean, doesn't the crowd react pretty good? I mean, they react pretty well. They scream very loud. I mean, they seem to enjoy what they're seeing. So I don't think actually it's too bad of a thing to have Brock Lesnar on the show. We just want to see him more.
Right. No, but it has been confirmed to me by Illuminati from the sources that he's reading it from that he will be making more appearances now that he's not in the UFC no more.
Right. And it's funny that you mentioned that, Miguel, because I actually just saw a tweet maybe an hour ago or so, or maybe less, from WWE saying that Paul Heyman was announcing that Brock Lesnar was going to be on this upcoming Raw in 2 days.
All right, this is the last Raw before SummerSlam.
And they were saying, Brock Lesnar is going to show up. He's scheduled to be there, but is Seth Rollins going to show up? And that's kind of the reason why they're mentioning that is because of what happened during that match with Seth versus Dolph Ziggler. And Miguel, you want to talk a little bit about that as well?
Brock Lesnar comes out. Well, the theme starts playing. You know.
Dun, 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 dun.
I was like, oh, here we go. This is just a cheap way to distract Seth Rollins so that way Ziggler gets the win. But no, then minute I see a fridge comes out holding the championship. I was like, oh, okay, so he's actually here. Okay, cool. Comes into the ring.
Funniest part thing, though, before you mention what happened, the funniest thing is that when he comes into the ring, before he slides in the ring, Ziggler is holding Seth Rollins' leg. Like, you got it down, motherfucker. And it's funny as hell because Ziggler's face, he was selling it crazy. And Seth was looking down like, you son of a bitch, let go of my leg. Like,
oh, crap. I didn't even pick up on that. Wow.
Funny as hell. But go on.
Yeah, so then Lesnar comes into the ring, clothesline Seth, automatic DQ. Seth gets the win, but he doesn't leave the winner, you could say, I guess.
Definitely not.
Then, you know, Lesnar...
I mean, he won one thing. An ass whooping.
And surprisingly, this time not from Becky.
His man.
Excuse me,
her man.
Her man. And then, you know, typical Brock Lesnar attacks Seth Rollins, you know, blah, blah, blah. But things get interesting the minute the steel chair...
This wasn't a regular attack.
This wasn't a regular attack.
As soon as he brought that steel chair in the ring, things got spicy.
Well, at first he set up the chair and he sat down on it. I'm like, okay, you know, typical lazy Lesnar, whatever. Right. But then he starts doing the F5.
Oh my god.
On the chair.
And to be specific here, he did the F5 on the headrest of the chair. On the thing that you put your back on. And it wasn't the flat part. The chair wasn't, flat down or folded down. It was out. It was placed out. It was like set up to sit on. And he was F5ing him on his ribs. But before he even did that, Miguel, you missed one thing. He took him outside and he started throwing him into the banister, and Seth was selling that thing.
Oh, he was selling,
He was selling the banister hits great. I mean, this is kind of what we go into talking about when we say trend that hashtag Best Sell Challenge is sell the shit out of whatever the person's doing on you, and that's the whole part of the challenge is sell it as hard as possible, oversell it, super sell it, whatever you want to say, but do the best one, and that's why we trend that hashtag. But anyways, the reason why I'm going into this is because Brock Lesnar did the F5 out there first, and he did it into the turnbuckle pole. The
turnbuckle pole,
same way that he did it on that one leg guy.
Oh, that one leg, Zach
Gowen?
Yes,
Zach Gowen.
Oh my god, yo, that's horrible.
When is he getting inducted in the Hall of Fame? He took some beatings there. He deserves it.
Beating? Wait. He took beatings? Brock Lesnar freaking
threw him down the stairs? Yo. He probably died. Is he okay? I hope he's okay.
He made him bleed in front of his mother. What is wrong with you?
Oh my god, so disrespectful. Brock Lesnar was a piece of shit for that. But it was great. That was great TV, guys. But yeah, he did that first, then rolled him in the ring, brung the chair in, and did the rib shots. But how many times did he do those ribs?
He did it, I think, 2 or 3 times. First time, clean, whatever. But for those of you that are true wrestling fans, if you guys really pay attention to when Brock Lesnar does the F5 for the second time into the chair, I don't know if you noticed, but you kind of notice Seth going...
When he... popping some pills in there.
Pills in there.
Stands. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, when he picked up Seth for the second F5, right before he lifted him for the F5,
he was already like this.
Pull it out his tights and just boop. Which that must have tasted like balls because he had it in his tights. Dirty bastard.
Tights, or maybe he had it in that thing that he wears.
Oh, that little wrist thing.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, he popped in the blood capsule. And that's kind of why if you look at Twitter and you look at any people commenting on this, they were saying, wow, the blood was a little light. It was kind of looking like Kool-Aid. It was looking a little fake. We don't think it was real. So we're telling you here now on Get These Facts, it was a blood capsule.
It was a blood capsule.
We saw him pop it in.
You don't fool us, WWE.
Yeah, we got you. We
got you.
We're the kings of best sells, all right? Mother flowers. We know what you did. But anyway... so yeah, that was amazing. And then Seth, oh my goodness, he took so much of a beating. It was crazy that night.
It was crazy.
But he was carried out in the stretcher and he was taken to the back. And this is where things got a little bit weird.
Weird and confusing, actually.
It was really weird. And it was just so weird. So they were taking him into the ambulance, and Brock Lesnar came out and he was standing in front of the ambulance. This was freaking hilarious. He was like, "Stop!" He was like, "Stay right there." He said,
No, you're doing it wrong. Just stop! Stay right there!
Brock can't scream for nothing. All that muscle, you would think he could scream. What the hell? Anyway, so he's like, "Stay right there," to the driver. "Stay right there," and then he runs to the other side. Well, he walks.
Yeah.
You know what's funny to me? If the ambulance really cares about the condition of their patients, shouldn't they have just took off as soon as Brock got away from in front of that ambulance?
That's actually a good point.
There was nothing in front of
That's actually a good point.
They wanted that to happen. It's kind of like this whole SmackDown thing with Roman Reigns, but we'll get on that.
We'll get on that very soon, yes.
But yeah, it's like they wanted him to get attacked, so Brock goes into the back, pulls him out of the ambulance.
Kind of a little roller coaster ride.
Oh my god! You've seen him bounce like it was hard. And he flew into something like Brock Lesnar. He overdid it because clearly he didn't expect Seth Rollins to roll that far. Bruto. So and then he dropped the stretcher and he flipped him over the same way McGillard flipped me over in one of our videos.